Hello artists, Miss Riley here, and welcome to your first online demo. Today we're going to learn how to use coffee and tea to paint. You might not have paint at home, so here's how you can use some of the other resources you might find in your kitchen. We also have, besides just regular paintbrushes, if you don't have those, you can use anything from an old toothbrush to a plastic fork to a skewer or a toothpick, even a whisk. So I'm going to show you how to use all of those to create some different marks using coffee and tea. So the first thing you're going to need is either some coffee grounds, or if you have instant coffee, that's even better. I'm using my husband's favorite coffee. I don't drink it, but it's great to paint with. It makes some wonderful smelling paintings that smell really good. I also have black tea, and you also want to just have a glass full of plain water to be able to water down some of the coffee. So the first thing you want to do is boil some water, and then put just a little bit of water into your coffee grounds. You want it really strong, and just a little bit of water with your tea, and then the plain water as well. And then you just need to let that sit for a few minutes and let it steep. Okay, so now that you've let your coffee and tea steep, you can start painting with it. Now you might notice your coffee, if you didn't use the instant one, you might have some grounds in the cup, and if you don't want that in your painting, you can simply put it through a strainer. So I'll show you how to do that. So now all those coffee grounds are caught in the strainer, and you don't have to worry about those being in your painting, so I'll just set that aside, and then there's some coffee. So what you want to do is first just experiment and see how dark the coffee is, and see if you can get some different values with the coffee. Even though it's quite strong, you'll notice that it's not really that dark. So what you might have to do is let it dry and then go back over it with some more coffee to make it darker. I still have some grounds in there, but that's okay. That just adds to the feel of the coffee in the painting. And then you have your clean water to clean your brush, and then also if you want some really light washes of coffee, you can just add some water to it and blend it. I'm going to see what my tea is doing. It has this nice red color. This is an Earl Grey tea, but the best ones to use are black teas. You can also try different red tea or green tea to see what different types of colors you can get. And I'm going to see what color the tea gets. It's really, really light, so that would probably take many layers of the tea. It might take some more layers to get it to become darker. Okay, now once you've done that, we're going to try to experiment with some other techniques that you can use. For example, using the toothbrush, you can just paint with that. You can also do some splatter marks. That's always a lot of fun. You can paint with a fork. If you don't have a paintbrush at all, you can even use a Q-tip. And it's fun to do pointillism or make dots with it, or just paint with it like a paintbrush. If you have some cookie cutters, those are always fun to use. You can get some different effects with that. With either a toothpick or a skewer, you might be able to find you can make some different types of lines and marks with that. The straw is always fun to do splatter art with that. Just put a little bit of a puddle of the coffee, then blow through the straw, and you get some cool effects. The wire whisk, you just dip it in, and just see what you can do. I find that using these different types of materials, I can get some really interesting marks that I wouldn't normally get just using a plain paintbrush. So go ahead and give these a try, and just go around and find some things in your kitchen that you might be able to use and have fun. You can upload one of these for one of your journal assignments for credit, and then try to use it in some of your art projects that are coming up. All right, have some fun. Hi, now that you've had a chance to practice some of the coffee techniques on a paper, I'm going to show you how to start applying some of those techniques on a drawing if you wanted to add some value or color to it. So I'm going to start with a paintbrush, but again, you can use a Q-tip if you want. You can get similar effects from that, or you can just use a paintbrush. And I'm going to start painting in some of the values around the eyes of the owl. And again, you'll notice that it's really light at first, but as you're painting, you can add layers to create darker values through your painting. Now I'm going to use the toothbrush to create some of the feather effects I found on some of the owl photographs I was looking at. I find these objects really help you create different textures. I'm also going to use the straw to put some other types of branches coming in from the sides. It's fun because you can't always control exactly what the paint does, and that's part of the fun of painting with coffee. It's similar to watercolors in that sense. I'm going to use the fork now to give it some kind of textures, almost like pine needles. So what I really wanted you to see is that you don't need fancy art supplies. You don't need to go out to an art store right now if you're hunkering down at home. You can just use what you have already, what you might already have in your kitchen and in your house to create an interesting painting. And then just for fun, splatter. And then I'm going to go around and build some more darker values with the coffee again. All right, there you have it. I encourage you to try some of these techniques and try painting with coffee or tea, or you can try some other things at home, like even painting with Kool-Aid or food coloring. All right, go and try some of these on your own. I hope you have fun.